What's up, y'all? It's been a minute. Had some things in life come up, but Armored Core 6 can bring me out the hole just for a little bit to talk about it. I've seen a lot of YouTubers play it. I've watched the just straight up gameplay over and over and over and over and over again. I've been watching the story trailer over and over and over and over again. I absolutely cannot wait for this game. Only Armored Core I've played was 4, and I absolutely hated it. And I think that's because it was just too fast for me. This is a guy coming from Mechiro on OG Xbox, soon moving over to Chrome Hounds on 360, which I actually learned this year that I didn't know that FromSoft had did that too. I just don't think it was under the FromSoft name, if I'm mistaken. Yeah, Mechiro and Chrome Hounds are just entirely different breeds than Armored Core is. Armored Core is tactical as well, but Mechiro was very much more methodical. You know, it's a slow game. And yeah, it's funny, I had the same experience with the Armored Core series that I had with the Dark Souls series. I didn't have a Mechiro game to play because after the second one they turned it into a Nintendo exclusive, which was just weird. So then I would always go into GameStop and always see Armored Core 4 on the shelf. That is my vivid memory of that game, honestly. I would always just see it on the shelf. And so one day I said, you know what, bump it. Dad, can you please get it for me? He did. I took it home, played it for a day, and took it back the next. It just wasn't my groove. And the same exact thing happened to me with Dark Souls. I needed something to help me scratch my Monster Hunter itch. And Dark Souls was that. Made it through the Asylum Demon. And after that, I just said, you know what, this game, I'm done with it. Part of it, a small percentage of it was the difficulty, and the rest was just like, I'm just good on this game. The jank, you know, there's some games that have janky controls and you can get through it because you're like, okay, this is whatever. And but Dark Souls, I just couldn't do it. I didn't end up getting into FromSoft until Dark Souls 3. I haven't played Bloodborne because I didn't have a PS4. So yeah, now we're here to Armored Core 6. And I think I know the debate has been going on, like calling this shit a Souls-like, and it's pretty much official that it's not. But I think this game is more in line with Sekiro than any of the Souls games. I mean, yeah, you look at Sekiro and it's like, yeah, that's still kind of a Souls-like, but at the end of the day, really, it is still a completely different game. And I mean, just look at the stagger system from the two, right? The only difference is you don't have you don't do death blows on Armored Core. It's up to you to fully execute like your combo to get him to death, right? But this is really more aligned with Sekiro in the sense of the story. And that's really mainly what I want to talk about. It's unanimous that the gameplay looks smooth as butter. It's amazing. But what I'm really intrigued by is the story. And just seeing the story trailer, hearing dialogue from extended gameplay sequences, like when you watch Vati Vidya, when like his gameplay, you get a lot of dialogue from certain characters that align with what happened in the story trailer. And this is just letting me know that the writers for Sekiro are writing for this game, because there's so much blood that's from that. Like, bro, it took me years to realize that the intro cutscene for Sekiro was showing the legend of Ishin. I didn't even know that until I beat the game, and then I went back on a second playthrough and I watched that cutscene again. I was like, oh shit, like, they do such a good job of, like, they show you who the final boss is, and you don't just see his badassness in his moveset, but they show you the story of Ishin. Just in that, this man united a land. He essentially stopped wars. You see it, and then you truly experience it when you actually fight him. I will not be shocked if this is kind of the same thing here. I don't know. I'm not saying that we're gonna fight 617, but we're gonna run into 617 again for sure from the story trailer. Because what was his name? Sula, the AC that you fight in I think it was mission 11 that all the YouTubers when they were playing. There's another AC unit, and his name was Sula. And according to Handler Walter's dialogue, he's a survivor of the Gen 1 augmentation. And this is where they're sort of hinting at, like, you know, Walter is kind of a crooked owner. Like, he's not a really good handler. And he gives you some ideas of that. But watching VaatiVidia's gameplay, the dude is talking to Handler Walter and trying to, like, taunt you. He asks, so what happened to 620 and the others? You know, that's from the story trailer. So we're gonna get 617. I just don't think 617 is gonna be like the Ishin of this game. Like, we're not gonna see the story trailer, because I wouldn't be surprised if that story trailer is the intro cutscene for Armored Core 6. It might, the intro cutscene might be different, but I just wouldn't be surprised, because this is definitely leading straight, that story trailer leads essentially straight into the game from the looks of it. And so, another thing though, I'm not expecting all of Sekiro's inner stories to be told like that was. Like, even though Sekiro wasn't a Souls game straight up, that was some of the influence. Sekiro is the most cohesive and just in-your-face narrative FromSoft has done. You know, maybe, you know, if older Armored Core games are much easier to follow, then just straight up let me know. But when it comes to the Soul shit, Sekiro is the one you can play from beginning to end and not get lost. You know, you play Dark Souls, you're gonna get lost. Bloodborne, you're gonna get lost. It's just a given. And but the main thing I'm really excited for, except for just 617, is I think Handler Walter is going to be the Father Al of this game. Right now, we're under his quote-unquote iron code. We're his slave, essentially. At some point, it obviously didn't happen with Sula, the Gen 1 AC unit, but it's probably going to end up happening with Unit 617. We're probably going to go on some mission. We're going to find his unit, or we're going to talk to him. Something's going to happen. An event is going to transpire, and it's going to cause for us to have to make a decision or something, just like in Sekiro. We're going to end up going back to Handler Walter or something, and he's going to give you a choice. He's like, you can either get your shit together and kill 617 and stay with quote-unquote the Iron Code, or you're done, and I'm going to send all my hounds after you. Or, you know, just some shit like that. I can totally see something like that happening. And, I can't wait. And Sekiro was the most cohesive narrative from FromSoft yet, but I think this might take the spotlight, because it's very Ace Combat like, you know, just the way the briefings are, even the garage. Like I said, I've only played AC4, but I've been watching YouTubers like Lawrence Sontag, and I watched VaatiVidia's like long hour-and-a-half vid of him playing all 15 Armored Core games. They all have like the garage and the customization and all that, but whoever did the UI design in this game and the garage design is a big fan of Ace Combat 6 and 7. Because the way the UI, even the color of the UI, just the light blue with the whites, that is very Ace Combat. Especially Ace Combat 6 and 7. I don't really remember the older ones. I know 5 wasn't as polished as this, but the past couple Ace Combat games, whoever was designing the UI for this was definitely a fan of those games. It's definitely inspired, and oh god, it just looks so slick too, man. And I think another thing I'm really excited for about this game, this has nothing to do with the gameplay. It's the music. From Software, for me, it is always a hit or miss with the music. I truly didn't start getting into the music of their games until Dark Souls 3. You know? Like, Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, Bloodborne, and Dark Souls 3 isn't completely saved. There's still tracks in here that are kind of like this, but a lot of it was just like it's crazy, horrific, just classical orchestral, just crazy strings. It's just crazy composition, and it's like if you're a music head, if you're into music theory and you really love classical music, I can see why you would love the music in those games. But Dark Souls 3 is when they really started like pushing forward with like themes, like, and a lot of people are probably gonna say Bloodborne was. I'll give Bloodborne that credit because I haven't played it, but I've watched gameplay, and even though it's still a little like too high, like orchestra, it's a little like opera like. It's a little too classical for me. Like, listen to like the Twin Princes theme from Dark Souls 3. That fucking song is amazing. The last track for the Soul of Cinder, like, great. And there's a few other ones that I just can't think off the top of my head right now. But Sekiro has amazing music. I don't think there's a single track out of that game that I dislike. And Elden Ring, there's still a little bit of the. There's still a bunch of crazy opera and like classical shit, but just like the music for like the ancestral spirit, Moog, Lord of Blood, Malekith, the Queen of the Full Moon, like those are very different styles of composition than what FromSoft has done in the past, you know. Like they are not just composing music for a game at this point. They are really like taking time and crafting themes for characters, like to really make it blend with the area or the character you're fighting against. And you know, like I said, Elden Ring is there for me. Elden Ring has the best music from FromSoft to date. But there's still a little bit in there that it's just like, okay, this is just crazy. There hasn't been a single track from this Armored Core 6 game that I have been like a little iffy on. Nothing. The story trailer music, fucking bananas. Just the Armored Core 6 theme song from the announcement trailer, and every time they play in every single one of their trailers, essentially, like just that theme. Oh, goosebumps every time I hear it. And the what was it? The boss fight music from the first gameplay reveal that we saw. That was only like 5 minutes. That music that played for the boss at the end with the two fucking blade saws for hands. Yeah, that boss music was fucking awesome. And man, I cannot explain to you the absolute goosebumps and chills down my spine I got for the whole like minute and a half that they were fighting that flying boss, that crazy one with the rings all around it firing the missiles in all different types of directions. I think his name was like Balteus or something like that. I hope to God that is the music for that boss. I've been seeing a lot of gameplay where it's using music from other areas that we've seen in their fights, and it's kind of throwing me off. So the music that was playing for Balteus, I hope that's the boss fight music for him, because holy shit, I literally had just goosebumps like the entire time I was watching that fight. Like, it was so damn good, dude. And that's really all I got. I gotta go pick my son up son up from occupational therapy. We're gonna go have a pool day, and I'm gonna go watch hours of Armored Core 6 YouTube videos for the next 30 days until this fucking game comes out. I can't wait. This is gonna piss a lot of people off, but if there's anything I would call this game, I wouldn't call this game Mecha Souls. I would call it Mechiro Cores Die Twice. That's what I would call it. This is more Mechiro than it is Mecha Souls. And I know OG Armored Core fans are gonna hate that, but I'm just being real. This takes more influence from Sekiro than it does Souls, not just gameplay wise, but also in story, just the way the story's being told. I gotta look up who is like writing the games, the story for Sekiro and Armored Core 6, but I really want them to write more stories for FromSoft games, because they streamline it, they make it really accessible, but they still give it depth that FromSoft games have, you know. So it's not just a casual Bob story. It's still really deep, but you don't have to go looking for items, armor. You don't have to go looking for puzzle pieces to put the full story together. Like this, you can just play through. And I heard this shit was gonna be like 50 to 60 hours. I was expecting like 25 to 30 for a third-person action mech game, for a shooter that's mainly single player, to get 50 to 60 hours. That's how long it took me to beat Dark Souls 3. And I'm about to get that out of a mech game? I'm hooked. I'm good. I'm gonna be good for a long time. So, hell yeah, man. I can't wait for this. Microsoft, though, let me tell you something real quick. This game is going to take off. Alright? FromSoft is riding off the hype of Elden Ring, and this game is going to be the best-selling Armored Core game to date, period, based off that alone. Like, everybody who loved Elden Ring, not everybody who bought it loved it, but anybody who's already a FromSoft fan is going to buy this game. But newcomers that loved Elden Ring, not the new ones that fell off of it because it was too hard, but the new ones that actually got hooked, they're going to buy this game. They're going to. Even if it's physical. Even if it's just physical and they play it for 2 days and they turn it back. You still got that money, baby. It don't matter. So you best believe we're going to get a part 2 to this. Because, you know, every generation of Armored Core has, like, their own little sequel that ties that story up, you know. So essentially 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6, they're not connected. But, like, Armored Core 3 and then Armored Core 3 Silent Line, I think it was called. I think those are connected, you know. Armored Core 4 and 4 Answered, I think those are connected. And 5 and Verdict Day, I think those are connected. We're going to get a part 2 to this. The question is, how quick are we going to get it? That's the main question. I can't wait for this. But, oh yeah, I got to fucking go. Microsoft, let me tell you something right now. This game is going to sell. And there's going to be a lot of Armored Core and just straight up mech games coming out after this. It's just a given, you know? Dark Souls came out, look what started happening. A bunch of fucking Souls likes. It's just what's gonna happen. Okay, another damn car. That's just it. You're just gonna have to wait, bro. I know. Yeah, that's it, man. Sorry, bro. I'm driving, but I'm trying to talk to y'all. I'm still trying to talk to you, Microsoft. This game is gonna sell. It's gonna be great. And so you know what that means for you? That means great, fucking awesome. God damn, I hate this fucking place, man. Fucking people. People doing stupid shit about to cause accidents. Revamp Mech Assault! I had to take out my fucking road rage on the camera. Bring back Mech Assault! Buy back the rights from shitty Nintendo. They're not doing shit with Mech Assault anymore. Microsoft, buy it back. Phil Spencer, buy it back. You need fucking exclusives. I love Game Pass, and I love all this free shit. But you need exclusives, Phil Spencer. You need exclusives. You need more than Starfield. Armored Core 6 is gonna sell. Bring Mech Assault back. God damn it. Peace, y'all.